The seventh Sunday in Ordinary Time falls neatly between the season of Christmas and the season of Lent. Just as we celebrated our God who became one with us at Christmas, of course not when we were saintly, but when humanity was full of sin and even outright evil, we also prepare ourselves for Lent, where our God-made man dies upon the cross for the same sinful and evil race. Our weird, merely human way of handling sinfulness and evil is to simply dismiss or discharge our enemies and evil ones. We can either leave them to fend for themselves as they live on the streets, or we're quick to lock them up, or even quick to end their lives through the death penalty. But this is not God's way. God who came to us at Christmas and God who died for us on the cross shows us the better and holier way. Not a human way, but a godly way. As we hear in our Gospel of Luke this Sunday, Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on one cheek, offer the other one as well." Jesus continues in Luke's Gospel, "But rather love your enemies and do good to them. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, for he himself is kind to the ungrateful and to the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." It's pretty evident that Jesus, our Lord and God, does not allow us any wiggle room. Either we hate or we love. Either we judge or we show mercy. Either we condemn or we forgive. One way is a very human way. The other is the godly way. Christians must choose the godly way. Take, for example, this painting of Christ and the woman taken in adultery. This painting by Alessandro Turchi, a baroque artist following the style of Caravaggio, shows the familiar scene in the Gospel of John where the woman is used as a pawn to trip up Jesus. Jesus is expected to give his answer regarding the law, which should condemn the woman by stoning. Jesus' answer is not what they expect. He says, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone." This particular painting shows two ways in which this adulterous woman is being addressed. Notice the man on the left who is dressed as a guard. He holds the woman under arrest and closely to himself, almost pleased to have suddenly caught the woman in the act. Notice her loosely fitting garment. With his helmet and stern and darkened face, the only suggestion that he is like Jesus is his red shirt. Jesus, on the other hand, does not wear a helmet, but a halo. His face is as bright as the woman's, acknowledging his love for the sinful. Finally, his arms outstretched, with fingers pointing to heaven and other fingers pointing to earth, suggests the breadth of the mercy of God. In this Jubilee year of hope, Pope Francis urges us to have a hope for those who are imprisoned. He writes, "In every part of the world, believers and their pastors in particular should be one in demanding dignified conditions for those in prison, respect for their human rights, and above all, the abolition of the death penalty, a provision at odds with Christian faith and one that eliminates all hope of forgiveness and rehabilitation." I am pleased that through the Office of Prison Ministry run by Father Esteban Wetzel here in the Diocese of Phoenix, we are showing that the most hardened of criminals receive the breadth of God's mercy. In truth, the man who is holding this woman caught in adultery remains in his own prison. The lack of compassion, the lack of forgiveness on his part will only keep him in the chains of mere humanity. The godly way, the way of Christ, not the human way, is the only way that this man will be set free.